Okay, so students, am I audible? Online people? Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So today, I'm going to take the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 22nd of November. Normally, the Hindu newspaper analysis is taken by Lakshmikant Jaib, but the thing is, for 1 week he won't be available, so I'll be taking your class on the Hindu newspaper. All right. So today, I'm going to cover the Hindu newspaper dated 22nd of November today only, and for yesterday's, I'll have a separate session, and that we will record and we will share with you. All right. So for this purpose, we need to understand first of all that what is the importance of reading the newspaper. All right. So whenever we are reading the newspaper, we need to be very sure that we select the topics that are important for the exam perspective, because being a newspaper, they have a wider audience to cover, and at the same time what they do is they cover all sorts of news, right? But we are preparing for the civil services exam, so we have to find out those topics that are important for the examination, and from the topics itself we need to gather only those information that are going to be helpful for us for prelims and for mains exam. All right. So now let us look into the topics that I have selected for the day. There are a few more topics, 1 or 2 more topics, and those topics also I'm going to brief you about it. All right. So these are the topics that I have selected for the day to cover with you. Okay, so the topic number 1 is in page number 6 of Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper. So you know that the Hindu newspaper comes up with all India edition. They are publishing it in different cities, but here we will look forward for the Delhi edition only. So in the 6th page of Delhi edition, there was on the brink. Okay, we are going to understand what do we mean by on the brink and what is important in this article for us for the examination perspective. Then the second topic that we are going to cover is about keeping a close eye on China's nuclear capability. Alright, so we are going to look into China's nuclear capability related issues and how it affects India's interest, alright, in the long run. Then we are going to look into the reliable data good policy. So what do we mean by reliable data and good policy? What is the importance of data, right, in having effective governance, in formulating good policies for the people. All right, so this topic was there in page number 7 of the Hindu newspaper. Then we are going to talk about a topic that says life expectancy lower for urban poor, says a study. So recently a study was conducted by Azim Premji Foundation, and they have found that the life expectancy for men and women in the urban areas are lower as compared to life expectancy of people in rural areas, and at the same time in the urban areas also they have compared the life expectancy of the richest person and the poorest person. So how the life expectancy varies in this group, like in the urban areas itself, between the richest and the poorest person. Then we are going to talk about China downgrades diplomatic ties with Lithuania over Taiwan. Okay, so this is a topic which is more related with international relations, but it is not directly important for the mains exam of UPSC civil services. So I'm going to talk about these topics and how these topics are important for you for the exam. All right, so these are the topics that we are going to cover, and we will look into a question of UPSC prelims exam that was asked in the year of 2020. Today's topics seem to be more heavily tilted towards foreign policy, towards international relations. That's why I have chosen a question in prelims practice for the prelims practice from the same area. So now let us quickly look into the first topic. All right, so this topic is about on the brink. So this topic was there in page number 6, on the brink. So we need to understand what is the context. So on the brink, they have said Russia and Ukraine must abide by their commitments in the Minsk Accord. Okay, so in this question, one of the thing is they are talking about on the brink, means on the edge. something is about to happen, you know. So this is on the edge of diplomatic ties and on the edge of, you know, international relations. So what is happening over here, you might be knowing that in 1991 the USSR has broken into, you know, different countries, right? And out of those countries, the biggest country that emerged was Russia. So Russia is, you know, the largest country in the world in terms of geographical area, and at the same time it is one of the superpower. All right. On one hand we have United States of America, on the other hand we have the Russia. Okay. So they are, you know, they are the superpowers. Like, you know, like if we go to the Cold War era, so we can get a knowledge that these two countries, like, you know, the world was divided into two poles, that is known as bipolar world. But like with the improvement in like, you know, international relations, with the improvement of economic stability in different countries, other countries have also emerged. Now the, you know, world has been a multipolar world. I mean, the power center is not located only in Russia and in US, but the thing is power is equally there in other countries as well. You understanding? But still, like, these two countries play a significant role in world affairs, right? Although Russia does not interfere much into, you know, other countries, you know, internal affairs, but like it seems that United States of America being you know, considered as one of the powerful nations, right? So this particular country seems to have hegemonic structure. It means like it tries to assert that like it is one of the, you know, bigger power in the world. Okay. So now what is the context over here? See, like after the, you know, I mean, collapse of the USSR, like different countries emerged out of it, and one of the countries that has emerged, the biggest country, was Russia. Then apart from this, we have Ukraine also. Okay. So we have Ukraine, we have Russia, and we have other countries. So it got, you know, divided into 11 different countries. So now what has happened, Russia has, you know, annexed one of the territory, okay, annexation. You might be familiar with this particular term if you have studied history. Okay, history, like, you know, modern history, or for example world history. Annexation means occupying the territory, means to take control over a territory, over a foreign territory. So what has happened, Russia has annexed Crimea in the year of, annexed Crimea in the year of 2014. All right. And now see, this is, you know, to the left of it, this is the map of Russia. This is not the complete map of Russia, but this is the map of Ukraine. Okay, this is the map of Ukraine. So this is one of the territory that is known as Donbas territory. This particular territory is heavily, you know, under the control of people who are being supported by Russia. It simply means like this territory, okay, this particular territory is legally a territory of Ukraine. But the thing is, like, when we talk about the internal power structure over here, the power is there with the people like who are being backed, who are being supported by Russia. You're getting my point? So this particular territory is under the control of Russia indirectly, because, like, you know, they have their power over here. Now, you know, Russia tries to take over this particular territory, and at the same time Ukraine does not want it, right? Why some country would like to cede its territory? Why some country would like to give up its territories to some other country? So for this purpose, there has been multiple negotiations at international level, and not only Russia, you know, not only Russia participated, but Ukraine and other, you know, superpowers also participated. So one of such negotiations happened in the year of 2014, and where, like, we have seen people, I mean, like, people participating from France, from Germany, from, you know, there is another group that is known as OSCE. It is known as Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. So these, you know, these multilateral power came together to negotiate a deal, to break a deal, so that, like, you know, ceasefire can be established, so that peace can be established in this particular region. you know that like when we talk about India and Pakistan, so Jammu and Kashmir seems to be one of the territory that is, you know, under hot pursuit all the time. It means like people from Pakistan, you know, try to infiltrate into that area. They try to create disturbances in the internal structure in Jammu and Kashmir. Similarly, like India wants to assert that like, you know, this country is this territory is an internal part of India, and it does not want to give up that particular thing, right? So similarly here, this territory is a territory that is under heavy influence of international pressure to establish peace, because like there is internal disturbance over here, because like people who have more power in this particular territory are the people who are backed by Russia. And at the same time, this particular territory, if we talk about, right, legally it is the part of Ukraine. Okay, legally it is the part of Ukraine. But like, how do you know establish peace at international level? So we do have United Nations Security Council on one hand. We have other multilateral organizations also. But here, like, you know, they tried to establish a peace with Minsk Protocol. Okay. So what do we mean by Minsk Protocol? It is a kind of protocol where, you know, agreement was sought to end war in the Donbas region. So this is the Donbas region that is, you know, that is shaded over here. Okay, so this is the region of Ukraine. Okay, it was written by Trilateral Contract Group. Okay, trilateral means there are three parties to it. Okay, one of the party is Ukraine, other party is, you know, Russian Federation, and third party was Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Okay, these were the three parties. Okay, one of the party was Ukraine itself. This is one party. Second party was Russia, and third party was this thing, Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. So these three parties tried to bring peace in this particular region. But, you know, there has been issues, and like, you know, proper peace could not be established over here. Again, you know, the hot pursuit has been, you know, in place. So later on, like, they have, you know, signed Minsk II Accord. Minsk II Accord. Okay. So Minsk II Accord was signed in the year of 2015. There we have seen, you know, Germany, France, they have also participated over here. So originally this, you know, the Minsk protocol that you can see, this is the original protocol that was signed in the first place, in the first go. Okay. So it had 12 such provisions under it. These provisions talk about, you know, like how do they bring peace in this particular region. For example, to ensure an immediate bilateral ceasefire, means like from both the sides they should give up arms. Okay, they should not, you know, carry on the hot pursuit, or like they should not carry on, you know, weapon related activities. To ensure the monitoring and verification of the ceasefire by the Organization for Security. Okay, Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. So these are the 12, you know, like 12 parts. Okay, so it consists of 12 protocols in the Minsk protocol. So like after then, you know, in 2015 Minsk Protocol 2 was signed, and in that particular protocol what was decided that, like, you know, both the parties from both the sides, you know, they are going to ceasefire the thing. So they have added one more point into it, but still, you know, that could not bring peace and stability in the region. Okay, so peace and stability was still being under, you know, under heavy, what we say, like under heavy danger, because, like, you know, from both the sides people are not understanding what is the importance of peace. All right, so this is one thing. So have we understood, like, what do we mean by this on the brink? On the brink means they are at the verge of, you know, waging a war, because, like, you know, they have internal disturbance in this particular region. So after understanding this thing now, so this is something that does not directly affect the interest of India. Does it directly affect the interest of India? No. Because, like, if you read the syllabus of UPSC in GS paper 2, so Indian foreign policy, right, like neighborhood relations with India, these are the topics that are part of this thing, right? So this is not directly connected with the main syllabus, but at the same time it is important for the prelims exam. How it is important? Let's talk about that thing.
So we have the good relation with Russia. So if the Russia will get any disturbance, may have chance to relate to India.
Yeah, we have good relations with Russia. We had good relations with with USA also, and USA also somehow plays indirect role in this particular region. Recently, S-400 is S-400 missiles were in news that are being exported by Russia to India, but United States of America opposes to this particular thing. Why does it oppose? Because United States of America considers Russia to be an adversary for itself. Adversary means a country that is not in a favorable diplomatic ties with USA. Okay, so USA considers three countries to be adversaries to itself. One of the countries is Russia, second country is North Korea, third country is Iran. All right. So any country that tries to have security alliances with one of these countries, the United States of America puts sanctions on it. Okay, they put sanctions, and for this particular thing they have made a law. Okay, like so under that law, like any country that tries to build like security alliances with one of these three countries, like they are Russia, North Korea and Iran. So they put sanctions, and there are different kind of sanctions. So out of those sanctions, six sanctions can be imposed directly by the President of the United States. Now here, so this is the region that we were talking about in this particular thing. So if a question is asked in the prelims exam, so where is this particular that Donbas region located? The Donbas region is located in Ukraine. It is a territory of Ukraine. Okay, so this is Russia. Okay, we need to see the map. So this particular region has been highlighted over here. This is the bigger part of this particular region, and if we locate over here, these are the blue line signifies Ukrainian line of control, means like till this particular region the Ukrainian government has full control. And if we talk about the red line, so this is the line which is insurgent line of control, means those people who are infiltrating into this particular territory. So they have occupation, or they have proper control over this particular region that is demarcated by red. Okay, so this is the insurgent controlled area, and these insurgents are supported by Russia. Okay, these insurgents are supported by Russia. So here you can see, if you read that particular article, you will come across the term Black Sea time and again. Okay, so multiple times there will be reference of Black Sea. So when there is a reference of any particular international sea or territory, so we should look into the map of that particular region. Okay, so this is the map of Black Sea. Okay, so to the left side we have map of Black Sea. Here if we see the map of Black Sea, so what are the countries that are surrounding the Black Sea? Okay, so Black Sea, you can see like this is the location of Black Sea. Okay, this is Black Sea, the blue color that you see. Okay, so which countries surround Black Sea? We need to identify those countries. One of the countries is Russia. Russia is number one. All right, this is Russia, one of the country. Second country is Georgia. Third country is Turkey. Okay, fourth country is we have this Bulgaria. Okay, then we have Romania, then we have Ukraine. All right, so these are the countries that are surrounding the Black Sea. You can do the map practice at your home, so that like if a question is asked like which countries surround the Black Sea in prelims exam, you should be in a position to answer this question. So this is one thing. Where is Bosphorus Strait located? So this is the Bosphorus Strait. What do we mean by strait in geography? Strait is any particular water body that connects two bigger water bodies. Like these are narrow stretch of water bodies. Okay, so this is known as a strait, or a strait separates two land masses. So one of the land masses is Turkey, like this part, other is this part. Okay, this is the thing. So Bosphorus Strait is located over here. So Bosphorus Strait is connected with Black Sea. And apart from this, if we see Sea of Marmara, okay, so this Bosphorus Strait connects Black Sea to Sea of Marmara. All right, so this is also important. So if we see the if we see the map of Sea of Marmara, so you can see this is the Sea of Marmara. So like to which country it is surrounded by? On one side, like, you know, we have Europe. Okay, so Europe is a continent, right? On other side we have Turkey. Okay, so Turkey, this is Istanbul. Istanbul is a part of Turkey itself. Okay, so this is Sea of Marmara. So why this first article was important on the Brink? So that you understand the international affairs, you understand like what is happening around the world. Second thing is, it is also important that those locations that are mentioned in the map, you should be having a proper and clear picture of those map related areas. Apart from this, you should be able to understand that, like, if they talk about, you know, Minsk Accord, so Minsk Accord is related to which of the following? They can ask the questions like this. So on one side, you know, to bring peace and stability in which region? Donbas region. That Donbas region is a territory of Ukraine, right? So, you know, to bring peace and stability between Ukraine and Russia, okay, you can talk about Minsk Accord. So that's why from this question we have got, you know, multiple areas from where question can be asked in prelims. All right. So this was one of the topic. So any question like in the first topic, people who are online and offline people, any question you can ask. Okay, all right.
So why they want to, some of the people is supporting to Russia. So what is the behind of that logic? Why they are going to be favor with Russia? In local, some of the people is not favoring to Russia. Some of the people is favoring to Russia. What is the conflicts around that?
And see, the thing is like Russia. See, like Russia has seen that, like, you know, many countries has ceded, you know, after the USSR disintegration. So they want to occupy the territory again. So this is the interest of Russia. And the people like who are in this particular Donbas region, right, they also have an interest of stability and to be connected with a country which is more stable, which is more prosperous. So like if we compare Ukraine and Russia, so Russia is more prosperous, it is more stable, and it is one of the, you know, superpowers in the world.
If
so this,
they manage with that, they will get good facilities and good
right.
That is the main reason.
Right. So these are the things. Okay. So have you got answer to your question? Any question from you? Okay, all right. So now let us talk about the next topic. Okay, this topic says keeping a close eye on China's nuclear capabilities. Okay. So keeping a close eye on China's nuclear capabilities. As you know that like China is a nuclear country. It means like it has nuclear power in itself, so that like they can use nuclear weapons. Okay. So China is a nuclear state. In international relations, a country is said to be a state. Okay. So a country is known as a state in international relations. Okay. It is important. So the thing is, China is a nuclear state, India is a nuclear state, Pakistan is a nuclear state. So the thing is, if China is increasing its power, right, so it should, you know, pose a concern to India. Why? Because like China is considered to be an adversary for India. Okay, although like in foreign affairs term, in international relations, we do not mention it anywhere. But like we have an internal policy that like we don't want to come under, you know, pressure of China in any capacity. So that's why we maintain good relations with USA also. All right. So like, how do we keep a close eye on China's nuclear capabilities? For this purpose, like this was an article that was written by Harsh V. Pant, okay, and Karthik, this thing. Harsh V. Pant is a professor of international relations, and like he is a, you know, he is the director of Observer Research Foundation, ORF. So the thing is, people who are reading international relations, they might have read a book written by, you know, Harsh V. Pant. He has written book also on foreign policy. Okay, so now let us understand like what is the importance of, you know, of keeping an eye on this thing. I mean on China's nuclear capability. So sometimes what happens when you are reading an article, okay, China is referred by using the name of its capital like Beijing. India is referred by using its name as New Delhi. Okay, they mention Delhi, New Delhi, and at the same time, like if they mention USA, they mention Pentagon. Okay, or like that. Okay, so whenever like there is a mention of any capital city, okay, like Pentagon, so you should, you know, a question should trigger in your mind like where is Pentagon located? Okay, so like using this particular term, they are relating it to the United States of America. All right, so a Pentagon report highlights a transformation in both quantity and quality of its arsenal, which India must note. Okay, so this particular article, poses a cautionary note to India that like India should note this particular development. Okay, what is the development? Pentagon has recently highlighted in its report, means like United States of America has come up with a report, and in that report they have mentioned that China has increased, its transformation in quality and quantity of its arsenal. Arsenal means weaponry. Okay, arsenal means weaponry that can be used in a war. Okay, that can be used when there is conflict. Okay, so this is the thing. So what is the name of that particular report that was released by Pentagon? Okay, so name of that particular report is China Military Power Report. Okay, so China Military Power Report was released by Pentagon. Pentagon means United States of America. And so what this particular report highlights? This particular report highlights that China is strengthening its military capability by increasing the quantity of its arsenal, and at the same time by improving the quality of its arsenal, like that. So this should pose a cautionary note for India, and at the same time this particular article also talks about low yield weapons. Okay, what do we mean by low yield weapons? Low yield weapons are those weapons that are not for the purpose of devastating an entire country. These are weapons, for example, like a tank. Okay, if we talk about a military tank, what they do, they go to a particular area and they can bombard that particular region. So the thing is, it has effect at a lower scale. So those weapons that have effect on a lower scale, that are known as low yield weapons. Okay, they are known as low yield weapons. So here they have given the definition of low yield weapons. So low yield weapons have been, so this is the thing, they have given the definition. Okay, so they have mentioned, so I'll tell you. Okay, they are weapons meant for battlefield use during conventional military operations and against conventional targets such as concentrations of armored artillery and infantry forces. Okay, so these are the weapons. For example, a military tank, so that can be considered as low yield weapon. And at the same time, when we talk about this particular thing, nuclear weapons, so they are not low yield weapons, they are high yield weapons. Okay, so when we talk about this particular thing, okay, when we talk about these particular capacities, okay, so USA has a policy, like India has a nuclear doctrine, USA has a nuclear doctrine, China has a nuclear doctrine. So India follows the nuclear doctrine of no first use policy. Means like in any affair, wherever India is in a conflict zone, India tries to maintain that it will not use the nuclear weapon in the first instance. It will not be the first country to use the nuclear weapon. That is known as no first use policy. Means like we are not going to use nuclear weapons in any situation in the first case. If a foreign territory attacks us using nuclear weapon, in that case we will have retaliatory measure, and that retaliatory measure will be at a scale which is larger than the scale that they have attacked on us. So that is known as defensive measures. So what we are going to do, we are going to have defensive measures. So this is known as no first use policy in case of India.
We will not attack first time.
Yeah, but like it does not mean that we will not attack at all.
If anybody has been attacked with any,
right,
we are ready to attack him.
Right. So if someone else attacks on us, then we will have retaliatory measure. Okay. So no first use policy is used by India. But at the same time, China has changed its nuclear policy. They are using launch on warning. Okay, LOW. So they are using a policy that is known as LOW, low. It means launch on warning. Means like if somebody warns China, they can launch nuclear weapon against it. It means like this is a cautionary note for India also. Okay, and at the same time, if they are increasing their military power, so this is going to bring lot of tensions for India and for the neighboring countries. You understanding?
So if I'm not getting that one, so law.
You are not getting LOW. LOW stands for launch on warning. For example, let's consider I have a nuclear weapon over here. Okay, I have a nuclear weapon. Okay, So the thing is, if a foreign territory or foreign country, okay, if a foreign country like threats us, if gives warning to us, we can launch this particular weapon against them.
So it is not a basic ethical matter.
It is not ethical, but the thing is, they want to, you know, maintain their power supremacy. They want to maintain hegemonic structure. So that's why.
Then UNO will not give the permission to, if you within warning only, you will not able to raise the.
No, that is there internationally, but like domestic policies can be different. Domestic policies can be different.
Border is the international matter. But between the countries, border is the international issue.
Border is an international issue, but the thing is like
if they want to throw the missile through not in their internal area, they are throwing the international border.
Right. No, they can. The thing is like, you know, there have been instances, there have been cases that people have used atom bombs. People have have used nuclear weapons. You understanding? So people have used this particular thing, and launch on warning is something like, you know, they maintain this particular policy, although they don't use it, but they maintain this particular policy that if someone wants us, you know, if some country wants us, then we can launch the nuclear weapon against them. So this is their doctrine that they are following, which is launch on warning. So with reference to this article, we will talk about a lot of things. So here I have included the entire article. And if we talk about the, this is how like I have broken this article into smaller parts, okay. So one of the context, what was the context of this particular article? The context was report released by Pentagon, okay. What was the name of report?
China nuclear. China military report.
Power report. China military power report. So China military power report. CMPR, okay. So this was the context, and this particular context should pose a cautionary note to India. So here, like, you know, they have talked about low yield weapons. Why low yield weapons? Because China has improved the capability of low yield weapons. They have increased the quantity, and we have seen deployment of these low yield weapons in, you know, multiple fronts. Like, you know, when Doklam issue was there between India and Nepal, right? At that point of time, you know, so China also came, you know, with heavy weaponry, artillery in those regions. So we can see the deployment of low yield weapons. So it should pose concerns to India. Then, this particular article talks about a key shift. What is that key shift? The key shift is the shift in the policy of China. What is the shift in policy? Now they are using the policy which is known as launch on warning. They are using a policy launch on warning, which is known as LOW. Okay, India has a nuclear doctrine which is no first use policy, but China can use, China can go for first use, FU, first use. India uses no first use policy. All right. So here, like, they have had a key shift in their policy. What? China. And at the same time, this particular article, says that Delhi needs to be cautious. This is one of the subheading. Why Delhi needs to be cautious? Delhi means why India needs to be cautious. It needs to be cautious so that, like, if any further development happens in China, India should have the capability to respond to it. All right. It should have the capability. So, addition survey by China. So recently China has conducted different surveys, and those surveys highlighted that, like, China has, made different additions in its weaponry, in its, different kind of ballistic missiles, different kind of submarines and all. So in this particular article, they have used multiple keywords. What are those keywords? Okay. China, the bigger country, is officially known as People's Republic of China. And at the same time, if we talk about, like, there is another country which is known as Taiwan. Can anyone tell me, like, what is the official name of Taiwan? Official name of Taiwan. That is known as Republic of China. Taiwan is known as Republic of China, and China is known as People's Republic of China. And China has a policy that is known as One China policy. We will talk about that thing in the later articles today. So that was there in the article. Okay. So when we write People's Republic of China, we mean the bigger China. Okay. And at the same time, so name of the report is China Military Power Report. China Military Power Report. And this report was released by Pentagon. It was not released by China. It was released by USA. All right. Then China military power, report reveals 4 specific areas where change is underway. What are the areas in which China is making changes? One of the areas, quantitative strength, means like they are increasing the number of weapons that they have. Then atomic yield means like they have more atomic capacity, they have more nuclear weapons. All right. Then delivery capability. Okay, delivery capability means, let's consider earlier they had intermediate range nuclear ballistic missile, that is known as IRBM. Okay, intermediate range ballistic missile that can be launched beyond their continent. Okay, that can be launched in South Asia and some other thing. So what they are doing, they are increasing the capability so that they can launch it in some other continent which is located far away, maybe 7,000 8,000 kilometers away. Okay, and posture means the kind of doctrine that they are following. What doctrine they are following? China is following the doctrine of launch on warning. Okay, launch on warning we have written. Okay, so these are the things. Okay, so these are the 4 specific areas where China has improved. Okay, where change is happening. One is quantitative strength, second is atomic yield, third is delivery capabilities, fourth is posture. Then next thing is like preparatory commission for the comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. So this is comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty is an international treaty where many countries have signed, and according to this treaty nuclear test has been banned. Okay, so that's why recently there was news that North Korea is using nuclear weapons.
So recently the Japan is going to be complaining on that country.
Right.
They are wantedly experiment doing nuclear weapons now without any intimation.
Right. So at the same time, intermediate range ballistic missiles. So like they have mentioned like China has built new type of intermediate range ballistic missile that is launched using transport elector launcher. Then they have submarine launched ballistic missiles also. Then launch on warning. This is the policy that is being used by China. No first use policy, which is used, which is a nuclear doctrine of India. Then first use, it can be used by China in that manner also. Okay. So this was all about this particular article. I hope you might have got some insight on this. Okay. So this is all. So any question on this this topic?
Nothing, but they are going to be strategically. If is there any emergency, they are ready to collapse border now, sir.
Who?
If China has been is ready to want to collapse any border of countries, they are ready. That's why they are going to be pre-planned with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, means like the thing is China is one of the biggest countries in the Southeast Asia. Like when we talk about all other countries are very small. So in Asian continent the largest country is Russia, and after then comes China and all. So the thing is China also wants to maintain that hegemonic structure. So it wants to assert that it is the most powerful country. So that's the thing. So reliable data, good policy. This is the third topic for the day. Reliable data, good policies. So the thing is, this particular topic is a very important topic that can this entire article can be an answer to a mains question. Okay. So let me tell you how it can be an answer to a mains question. In the mains examination, there can be question like so what is the importance of having data for formulating policy? Second thing is like so if a policy is formulated without consulting with data specialist or without having proper data, so what can be the repercussions of those policies? Okay, so recently there has been a lot of debate on this particular issue that like government has passed many legislations in haste. It means government has passed legislations without consulting the opposition, without giving due consideration for deliberations in the parliament. So many legislations have been passed in haste, and those legislations that are passed in haste, they have repercussions for the society, because legislations are applicable throughout the Indian territory. So like they can have negative repercussions also. So now this particular editorial talks about like we should have reliable data, and the reliable data will be helpful for formulating good policies. Okay, See, the onus is on the government to ensure that there is robust system of public data production and use. So now here they want to assert that the public data production should be robust, and at the same time the government should use the public data for formulating policies. So you might have heard about this particular thing, Aadhaar related cases. So in Aadhaar, what they are using, okay, the Aadhaar data is being used as a public data for giving bank related services, and at the same time government had tried to use Aadhaar for providing any kind of government services. There has been innumerous number of cases in the Supreme Court. So that's why the importance of public data is very high. The public data is something that is publicly available, and at the same time these data can be used for formulation of policies, so that they have better implementation, they have better targeting. So this is the thing. So this this particular article talks about that evidence based policy making becomes the cornerstone of good governance. It is difficult to overstate the importance of reliable and timely public data. Such data have a direct bearing on states' capability to design and implement programs effectively. Okay, so now they are talking about we should have public data and more robust system to generate public data, more robust system to use those data for formulation of policies. And they are saying that India is a big country, it is an emerging nation. So it has huge population to support. So if we are generating public data through authenticate systems, so these data can be used for various purposes. And this article says that since independence we have created multiple policies that have helped us in generating public data. For example, one of such thing is census exercise. Census means population counting. So it happens in India once every 10 years. Okay, so last census was conducted in the year of 2011. Ideally the next census should have been conducted in the year of 2021. Okay, but the thing is, because of COVID-19 the economic structure has disrupted in India, and people from rural areas are not coming to the urban areas because they have a fear factor again. Okay, so Government of India has postponed the census exercise for the year of 2022. So next census will be conducted by Government of India in the year of 2022, they said. But as of now, no further development has happened. Okay, so census is one of the thing that helps us to gather public data. In the year of 2011, they have conducted socio-economic and caste census. Okay, socio-economic and caste census in 2011, and this particular census has been used to target some of the government policies that can help the socially or economically weaker section of the society. All right. So, but the thing is, whenever government tries to do some of the things, at the same time there are a lot of criticism for the government. A lot of people are there to highlight different intentions of the government. People highlight that why government is doing socio-economic and caste census, so that they can target their policies for winning an election. You understanding? So a lot of criticism is associated with this, but this is one of the robust data collection process that was conducted by Government of India in the year of 2011. So this particular census exercise, it is a decennial. Okay, it is a decennial exercise. It means it is done once every 10 years. And at the same time, apart from this, they have another similar exercise that is done once every 5 years. Okay, that is known as they have mentioned over here. Okay, so that exercise is done monthly household. Okay, monthly household consumer expenditure. So it is a quinquennial. Okay, quinquennial exercise means this is done once every 5 years. Okay, monthly household consumer expenditure. So this particular report also helps the government, to identify those areas where the households are having, expenditure, where they make expenditure, so that Government of India can come up with, such policies. But at the same time, there are various concerns associated with this public data usage and policy formulation using public data. Okay. So they have mentioned about these things. Okay, they have mentioned about the concerns. So you can write these points in the mains answer directly. Okay, these points are very rightly written, but like you can shorten it down to make it, you know, more effective. So what are the concerns associated with, you know, public data? Okay, one, despite having adopted the latest data processing technologies, there has been growing delay, sometimes by years, in the release of the collected data. Okay, although like we have adopted latest technologies, but like, you know, we are not releasing those data. Okay, there is delay in you know, collection and release of data. This renders such data less useful for policy interventions. The delay also implies less public scrutiny and hence undermines accountability. Okay, in an extreme case, the government refrained from releasing the data collected through socio-economic and caste census. Okay, so this is one concern associated with it. The second concern is the issue of comparability. Okay, comparability means like, you know, if we have one set of data, at the same time if we have other set of data, how these data can be compared. For example, recently, you know, they have changed the base year, okay, for calculation of like, you know, for the calculation of GDP. Okay, earlier it was I guess 2004-5, now they are using 2010-11 or 11-12. Okay, so when they are changing the base year, so like can these data be you know, compared with one another? Okay, so sometimes people have criticized the government that like they are changing the, you know, data sets for for making a report. Why they are changing the data set? So that like they can project higher growth rate, but the actual growth rate in economy is not that much as is being highlighted by the report.
So whatever the benefit value they want, that year only they are considered as a basic.
No, like government comes up with, you know, different kind of modifications in reporting of different sets of data. So why they do the modification? It is not necessary that they are doing the modification to improve the, you know, standard of data collection or, you know, to increase the standard of the report. But like what they are doing, they are molding or modifying the, you know, the variables in the data set in such a manner so that like those data can be used, you know, for projecting that the government is doing better as compared to the previous government.
Actually, as per technical value, if we set as a goal, and based on that goal, how much you want, how much you develop, that is the real GDP.
Right.
But the present GDP is going to be taking, they are comparing, not they are going to be fixing the goals.
Right. So that's the thing. So like, you know, for comparable, you know, there are issues related to comparability. Means like they already set the target, like we have to show the growth projections like this. Now you know, mold the data in such a manner so that like this can be shown. So these are, you know, criticism associated with this. Then apart from this, third, there has been less slippage in the conduct of sample surveys. So now the thing is, you know, government is conducting lesser number of surveys to collect the data. Earlier the surveys used to be robust, surveys used to be conducted on a periodical basis, but now that has been discontinued by the government, okay, in multiple areas. So that, you know, surveys are not being conducted to collect the data from the ground. So these are the, you know, concerns associated with this. Yes.
Example can we take, sir? If the DBT system, their fund has been transferred. Actually, the unit cost is 3 lakhs. Initially they transferred 1 lakh, sir. It may 1 lakh to 3 lakh reaching. It may take more than 2 years, 3 years also. But that feedback is not displaying in websites. Sir. They are only displaying how much we has dispatched.
Right.
How much we completed, they are not displaying, sir.
Right. Means like, you know, the government is like, you know, disbursing the money and they are showing that like we have, you know, given up this particular money, like we have disbursed. Right.
Unit of house is not
right.
displaying.
Yes, yes. Means like the end result is not being shown.
Only the dispatching of first stage only they are showing.
Right. So like, you know, there has to be feedback mechanism also, so that like end-to-end thing is like, you know, for example, a policy has been formulated for a purpose that has to, you know, you know, cover different stages. For example, first stage is disbursal of amount. Second, you know, going this particular amount to the targeted beneficiary. Then usage of this amount for the development purpose, and finally, you know, the end product that is being developed. Okay, so these stages the government is showing the first stage itself. You mean to say, right? It is not showing the end result of the, the amount that they have disbursed.
Central government is going to be debating with the state government. So we are funding money, but state governments are using different sectors for the same money. They
Right.
are not giving what they send to unit house.
Right.
They are using another resources.
Right. So that's also, you need to read this particular, article. This particular article will help you understand what is the importance of public data and like how public data is helpful for coming up with, proper policies that can be targeted, more efficiently towards the beneficiary. So they are saying like, they are saying that government is not using the public data. It simply means that like, a doctor is prescribing medicine without diagnosing a disease. I mean like when you are not identifying what is the illness, how you can, directly, recommend prescriptions or medicines. So they are saying like without diagnosing the disease, you are prescribing medicines. So the thing is, you have to identify like where the problem lies. For identifying the problem area, you have to have proper data. For having proper data, you should have robust mechanism for collection and usage of those data. So this is what is being highlighted by this particular report. Okay. So I hope like this topic was understood. Okay. Apart from this, we have another article. This article is important. Okay. This is important for GS paper 1. Okay. Under Indian society. Okay. GS paper 1 under society. And at the same time, this is important for GS paper 2 under social justice. Okay. Under social justice. So the map that is given in this particular article, you can note down this map in a notebook, okay, so that like you can reproduce the same map, okay, same map, or like to a variable extent of this map while writing an answer related to disparity, or disparity in the sense life expectancy related thing, okay, disparity in life expectancy in urban and rural areas, or in urban areas between different income groups. So this data, this graph will help you to fetch some more marks in same area. So let us talk about this particular topic. Okay. So recently a survey was conducted by Azim Premji University, and this survey has found out that life expectancy among the poorest is lower by 9.1 years among men and 6.2 years among women from corresponding figures for the richest and in urban areas noted by the report. Okay. So here what is happening, when we talk about urban areas, the life expectancy between men is varying by 9.1 years, means like a person who is rich and a person who is poor in urban area, okay, they have varying life expectancy. The richest have more life expectancy by 9.1 years, and the poorest have less life expectancy in the urban areas by 9.1 year among men. And among women it is 6.2%, means like in the urban areas itself, the rich women can live for 6.2 years more as compared to the poorest women, like that. Okay. So this is the like variability in life expectancy in the urban areas. Okay. So they have talked about this particular thing. From here you can write down some of the points. Okay. One of the point is, there was the report. The name of the report is Healthcare Equity in Urban India. Okay. So this report was released by Azim Premji University. You can note down this particular name of the report, Healthcare Equity in Urban India. You can use this particular name of the report in one of the means answer, or you can, like in prelims also they may not ask this question, but the thing is it will be helpful for you to write an answer. So wherever you get such figures, such diagrams, you need to see like where you can use this particular diagram. Alright. Name of the report is Healthcare Equity in Urban India. It was released by Azim Premji University. I have told you the crux of the report. So like they talk about the shortfall in percentage of primary healthcare centers in urban areas. They talk about the gap in the life expectancy between rich and the poor in the urban areas and all. Okay. So this is a short article. This is another topic, the next topic for the day. It says China downgrades diplomatic ties with Lithuania over Taiwan. Okay. So in the previous article I talked about that, like, you know, official name of China is People's Republic of China. So China is known as PRC, People's Republic of China. Taiwan is known as Republic of China. Alright. So this is China, and this is the capital of China, Beijing. Okay. This Taipei is the capital of Taiwan. Okay. Taipei is capital of Taiwan. So this is Taiwan. Alright. So this is Taiwan, this is China, and China maintains a policy that is known as One China policy. Under this particular policy, China asserts that, like, you know, Taiwan should not be considered as a separate country. Taiwan should be considered as an integral part of bigger China, because one day China is going to have Taiwan under its occupation, means like under its, you know, under its ambit. So the thing is, China discourages other countries from establishing diplomatic ties with Taiwan. What China does, China discourages other countries from having independent diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Okay, those countries that try to have independent diplomatic ties with Taiwan, China, you know, tries to you know, put pressure on that particular country so that, like, they follow the One China policy. Okay, so this is the thing. So here in this article in itself is not that important for us. For us, what is important is map related issues. Okay, we need to understand about, like, you know, is Taiwan an independent nation? The question arises, is Taiwan is an independent nation or an independent country? Okay, is Taiwan a sovereign country? Yes, Taiwan is a sovereign country, it is an independent nation, but at the same time, like, it does not have the status of a separate country in the United States, United Nations. Okay, so it is not a member of the United Nations organization as a separate country. So United Nations organization has 193 members in all, right? So 193 members in all. Taiwan is not one of them, but, like, Taiwan is in itself is an independent country, and they assert that, like, we are independent, but China says, like, Taiwan is an integral part of it. So when we talk about in international relations, when we talk about in international term, what constitutes a country, means, like, how do we define a country, right? For defining a country, we should have some you know, scale, we should have some you know, some parameters to look into it. Okay, so where do we find those parameters, right? China is an independent nation, India is an independent nation, USA is an independent nation, Taiwan is an independent nation, but at the same time it has not get recognition from the United Nations. Why? So there are multiple reasons for it. For example, one of the thing is, like, you know, we will talk about Montevideo Convention. When you read international relations, under this, you know, there is a convention that is known as Montevideo Convention. In this convention talks about what is a state. It talks about what does a state constitute. Okay, a state should have 4 different things. Okay, it should satisfy 4 different conditions. What are those conditions? One of the condition is it should have a sizable population. It should have a sizable. One of the condition is it should have a sizable population. Second thing is it should have a defined geographical territory. Defined geographical territory. Third thing is, like, it should have established government. Established government. The government may be of any nature. It can be democratic, it can be, you know, monarchic government also. Like Saudi Arabia is an independent nation, but it is not a democracy, right? So it should have established government. Fourth thing is it should be sovereign. Sovereign means it should be able to formulate its internal policy and external policy without any external influence. You understanding?
Its own independent capability to
Right.
implement, sir.
Right. It should have independent capability to come in for foreign relations with any other country. So when we talk about Taiwan, Taiwan is lacking in this particular front, sovereign, because China says one China policy is to be followed by other countries when they are dealing with China. So Taiwan is lacking in this particular front, which is, you know, sovereignty. Although like it is sovereign, it asserts it is sovereign, but like, you know, so its sovereignty is being being undermined by one China policy of the mainland China. All right. So this is the thing. So this Montevideo Convention, although like people who are reading general studies and other things, they may not be aware of this particular thing, Montevideo Convention. But last year in 2020 prelims exam, they asked a question. The ingredients of that question was directly related with this particular convention. Which convention? Montevideo Convention. I'll talk about, you can download the document. Only few pages are there. I guess, you know, 8 to 10 pages are there in this convention. All right. So this is one thing. So recently what has happened? China has downgraded diplomatic ties with Lithuania. Okay. So why? Because the thing is, Lithuania had established, okay, Lithuania has established an embassy in its territory of Taiwan. Okay, so like, you know, let's consider this is the this is Lithuania, this is the country Lithuania. All right, its capital is Vilnius. Okay, this is Lithuania. So there embassy was established. This embassy belongs to Taiwan. So when, you know, Taiwan is able to establish an embassy in some other country, what it means? It means like, you know, Taiwan is an independent nation. But the thing is, China did not like this particular thing. So China has downgraded its own diplomatic ties with Lithuania. That like, if you have, you know, this particular thing, embassy of Taiwan, so why you want to have, you know, like diplomatic ties with us? So China has downgraded its diplomatic ties. But this is not very important. What is important is like, where is Lithuania located, right? Where is Lithuania located? Lithuania is one of the Baltic nations. It is one of the Baltic nations. So when we talk about Baltic nations, why do we name countries to be Baltic nations? Because like they are near to the Baltic Sea. So this is Baltic Sea, okay? So here there are three countries, okay? Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia, okay? So for example, if we talk about Estonia number 1, second Latvia, third is Lithuania. So these three countries are collectively known as Baltic countries, okay? They are known as Baltic countries because they are on the shores of the Baltic Sea, all right? So these three countries are known as Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, all right? So you can remember the name of, you know, some of the gulfs, some of the seas that are located over here, like Norwegian Sea, like, you know, Baltic Sea, then you can Gulf of Bothnia, then Gulf of Riga, Gulf of, you know, this is Dansk, like that. All right. So this is what we need to focus on. We need to understand what is one China policy. Second thing is we need to understand what is Montevideo Convention, what does a state constitute, and at the same time we need to understand about location of Lithuania. So Lithuania is one of the Baltic countries. Okay. So now let me talk about, you know, a question that was asked in prelims examination of 2020. So this question was asked in UPSC prelims 2020. So like this question was there in all the sets, questions are there in all the sets, but I have taken this from set C. In set C this was question number 17. Okay, so this question talks about which one of the following best defines the term state. Many people might have thought like, you know, this is Article 12 of the Constitution of India. In Article 12 of the Constitution of India, they mention what is a state. But like that state, you know, talks about like the states within India. But in international relations, a country is known as a state. So it is not connected with Article 12 of the Constitution of India. All right. So it is not a part of that thing. If you read these statements, if you read option A, these are 4 options. Option A says a community of persons permanently occupying a definite territory. Community of persons means a sizable population. The first topic that we talked about, Montevideo Convention. Permanently occupying a defined territory. The second thing is they should have a defined geographical territory. Third thing is independent of external control. Means it should be sovereign. The fourth topic in the where I discussed. So this condition is being met, and possessing an organized government. Okay? Established government. So this option A has all the ingredients. What are the ingredients? A community of persons permanently occupying a definite territory, independent of external control, means sovereign, sizable population, defined geographical territory. It should be sovereign. It should be, it should have a organized government. So these things are there in the Montevideo Convention. So correct answer is option A. Alright. Other options are not correct. Although they may seem to be correct for people who are reading it for the first time.
So fourth one also having the social living and territory and central government and judicial.
This one. See. D says a society permanently living in a defined territory. Okay, society means let's consider persons. Defined territory means geographical territory. Central authority and executive responsible to the central authority and independent judiciary. It means a government. For example, a government. Where is sovereignty? Is it able to take?
Sovereignty means it will be the independent judiciary.
Independent judiciary means they are able to decide on the internal affairs only. They are not able to decide on external things.
But making of law only sovereignty will come now, sir.
Making of law means making of foreign policy as well. Making of law means making law for the country and establishing foreign relations with other countries. If you read the definition of sovereignty, right? Sovereignty means internal sovereignty as well as external sovereignty. We should be internally sovereign to formulate policies for ourselves. We should be externally sovereign so that we can come in international relations independently, without any external pressure on us. So that fourth part is missing here, sovereignty. If you read any other options, something will be missing. Okay.
But what A and D is the nearest ones.
Yeah, A and D are nearest. Okay. But A is the right answer. So that's how they are asking questions. This question is not from any other topic you may be thinking in prelims they can ask simple questions. They ask very they ask questions that need independent thinking. You should be able to relate with the conceptual understanding of that particular area. So this is one of the questions that was asked in the prelims exam of 2020. Alright. So I have just taken one question, but many questions can be related with the discussion that we had today. Whatever you are reading, I just want to say one thing, whatever you are reading, just see which portion of that particular thing can be used for the exam purpose. Means the standard of questions that are asked by UPSC from different areas. There were articles that I have shown that they are not directly related with the syllabus. China, downgrading diplomatic ties with Lithuania may not be important because it does not directly relate with India. But the thing is they may ask about Baltic countries, they may ask about location of some of the sea or these things. So map is important part. Apart from this, you should also be able to connect with other relevant areas. Okay, map and other significant conceptual areas. So that's important. So that's all that I wanted to discuss for the Hindu newspaper today. Rabi Rada has said, okay, all right. See, you people are not visible because this LED is not working today. Okay, so I hope the discussion was fruitful. Anyone having any question from online people, offline people can also ask. You can ask me your question. You can type your question. I can unmute also. No. Yeah, you can type your question if you have any question from today's discussion. Nagma Sheikh has asked, offline class will start from. See, the thing is, Delhi government had issued a notification on 13th of November. They said from 20th of November, like till 20th of November, all the offline classes in institutions will be off. But they come up with follow-up notification on 17th, where they said like, the offline classes will be started only after you get the notification on a subsequent date. So as of now, they did not mention about the date. So that's why offline classes are off as of now. So as soon as we get an update on this, we are going to resume the offline classes. But as of now, we are conducting online classes only. Okay. So this is the thing. If you visit the department of this thing, environment of Government of Delhi, you will get those notifications. All right. So today I am going to update. I am going to share with you related, update related to this through email. Yeah, I have answered the questions. Okay, welcome. What?
Students are asking, sir, make current affair video daily.
Current affair video daily? All right, we'll see. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you people who are on YouTube live. So like, I'll be there for 1 week to take current affairs. Like today, my discussion was heavily influenced towards international relations because there were multiple topics on this. But like there is another article, I'll show you that thing. In page number 10 of the Hindu, this talks about this particular article. Prolonged school closures pose threat to gender equality. So this particular article talks about a report that was released by UNESCO. Okay, and name of the report is When Schools Shut, Gendered Impacts of COVID-19 School Closures. So they have written like that. So this is a report that was released by UNESCO. Okay, so it talks about like, when the schools are closed for a long time, so it has, impacts on gender equity. Gender equity means the girls and boys are not at the same place to learn the things, because what happens when girls and boys are at home, girls have to do more household work as compared to boys. So the thing is, it also hampers their learning activity at home. So COVID-19 has posed, posed threat to the gender equality. Okay, so so this is just a report. I'll just mention the name of the report here. When schools shut, gendered impacts of COVID-19. This was the name of the report. Like it seems to be, incomplete, but like this is the report released by UNESCO. This was in page number 10 of the Hindu, Delhi edition. Okay, if you read Chennai edition, other editions, the page number may vary. Okay, so this is the thing. So like there were multiple reports that were there in news today. So you should mention these reports in single line in your notebook, so that like you can revise them at a later stage. Okay, thank you so much everyone. Thank you. So the next video I'll be recording that, and I'll share like with the team, so they'll be uploading it. Okay, thank you. So you're going to have another class